Hey, welcome back to the channel. FC24 claiming the prize items of 1,500 gems. How to train 5 players to level 20. So this is really something I'm going to share with you. But before that, let's check out the welcome to FC Mobile. We're going to claim all the rewards by clicking on the square buttons. So you click on the not the number buttons, but rather the square buttons above. Then it allows you to claim those rewards. And of course, midpoint and I think milestone 5, as well as milestone 8. There are additional rewards that you should be claiming as well. So just check out if sufficient enough of those welcome points. You go ahead and claim those. Of course, that's where I am right now, milestone 8. Now back to the main topic of this video, which is to educate or share how do you actually buy sufficient players. It is a hassle. I mean, end of the day, buying those players one by one in the market. So you basically you'd be good if you have put some of these players that is of impulse stocks in the watch list. So that will allows you to basically make use of the watch list to make your life easier. So how you do go about doing the watch list? We're going to share many multiple opportunities in this video. You can see here. What I'm trying to do right now is first, when you buy players, you're going to select 71, 72, and 73 players. At the same time, you're going to select the positions as well. So normally I will select all the defending positions. We're starting with 71, move on to 72, and then the 73. Once along the way, when I hunt for those players and I basically identify some players that are really good in terms of supply, because some comes with like 5 or 6 supply, those are the ones that you're going to keep in the watch list. So once you keep them in the watch list, you basically have a pool of players that have ample supply that allows you to quickly buy a good number of these 71, 72, and 73 players. Why am I buying 71 to 73 players? Because they're relatively value for money. Previously, I thought 63 was a good value for money until I realized actually there are 71 to 73 that are even better for value for money, given the fact that give better experience that allows you to basically train your players faster, but at a relatively same price as the 63. So in that context, definitely the 71 to 73 has much higher value for money. Again, when you look and hunt along the way, most of the time you see a sales quantity of 1. You basically just buy it and let it pass. All right. So you want to hunt for a good player. We should try to come to it. All right. So this has 2 players. You can see here. You could, if you wish to, put in a watch list, but I rather when there are 3 or more, sometimes 5 or 6, those are the real ones that you want to keep in your watch list. Basically, it needs some time. They'll be regenerated. Okay, this may be a good one as well. So you go here, you see there's an icon where you have a star just now. That's how you basically put him into the watch list. All right, so you click on the picture of the player that brings you to the page just now. Click on the icon next to the photo, and there's the next page whereby I click on the star. Once you highlight the star, that means that you are identifying just like this again. This is your star here. All right, click on that icon and it goes into the watch list. All right, so once you're in your watch list, basically you're trying to go to your pool of watch list players, and that allows you to quickly generate or basically buy a good number of these players. You need hundreds of them in order to upgrade your players. It is of course very tough in terms of 2 things: the tediousness of buying players, because it's so difficult to buy players. The second thing is about money. You wouldn't have sufficient of those coins had you not sold all your icon players, and those players can sell for millions. So I urge you, if you could, sell those players, because you know, end of the day, if you're keeping those players, it's meant basically for you to win competitions you are thinking on that, or matches, because they offer higher OVR, and they're worth, let's say, 5 million. If you keep on keeping them, I mean, gradually within the next 4 weeks or so, when you play it further and there'll be more and more events that comes about, basically the price of those icon players may drop to 3 million or 2 million or even 1 million. So in that context, you're not making as much as you could. So I'll go ahead, I've actually realized all the profits. You can see here I have 20 over million right now. I had about 30 million. So it cost me about 10 million in order to upgrade 5 players to 20 from 15. All right. So initially the requirement of the quest was to have maybe just 3 players to 10, and then to level 15, and then next one is to have 5 players to level 20. So that was really tough for me, because basically I got to train 2 more players from scratch, from 0 all the way to 15 again, and then we have 5 numbers of 15, and then we work up that way, because in order for you to train from 15 to 20, again there's a need to rank up. And when you buy for those players for rank up, it's really expensive if you go for those good ones or popular ones, and it's not easy to find a card as well if they are popular. So I'd rather you look for a player that had lots of cards available in the market, and relatively not so high price. That will allows you to buy a good number of those cards for the rank up purpose, because you need the same player, exactly the same card, in order to do the rank up. So this is something you're gonna really painful in terms of this FC24. You can see here we do a training, it's almost draining. Just one level is drained basically what we have done so far. So it is like hundreds of players required to do training, especially when there's higher level like 15 to 20. The higher you go, the more difficult it is to do training. So it's relatively expensive as well. As it costs about 10 million. In the other ways to finance all those purchases, you definitely have to sell your precious icon players. And I said that again, they have the high price right now. The price may not hold. Gradually over time, the price will drop. There'll be more and more higher OVR players to come on board. The question you may have for me is that, why are you training such low level players? Had you buy a higher player, basically you do training and you can use the player for your team, and you boost up your OVR. Yes, I understand where you're coming from, but again, do you have the kind of money to buy a duplicate of that card for rank up purpose? Not forgetting you're not just buying 1, 2 or 3 cards. You need probably 5 cards in order to rank up, because at a later stage of ranking up, you need 2 cards to rank up, and that's not 100%. There's only a chance, just a slightly higher chance, if you put in 2 cards for ranked up. If you put in 1 card, there may be a chance that you basically just burn that card for nothing. I tried once. I tried to place a lottery in a way with just 1 card trying to rank up, and it failed. So I'd rather play safe here by having a good percentage, sometimes like at least 50% probability of rank up, then I go for that. Otherwise, you'll be wasting the cards. So it's relatively important. In the early onset, where you try to do rank ups, you only need 1 card. And just remember this, 1 card could cost you a couple 100,000 if you go for a good card. And you remember this, you need, let's say, 5 numbers of those cards. It costs you millions, all right? So it's relatively important. You know what you want at the end of the day. What's next then? I mean, after the training of 5 players to this level 20, is 11 players. They now need, the next step is 11 players to level 20. So you can imagine how costly is that. And definitely not so easy as well. So relatively painful, I think, this quest items. And what is the price item? Of course, individual quest is 1,500 gems, but the price item is 10,000 gems if you complete all the quests itself. And not forgetting, the quest also require a minimum OVR of 90 as the first leg. Subsequently, I believe they request for even higher OVR, team OVR as a requirement. So all this comes to play. It's all about money. So what they're doing is basically force you to spend real money to buy gems or buy currency, which I'm not doing because I'm a free to play. So it's relatively important. You got to budget it well, and we got to start with basically training those cheap players to level 20. That's the reason why I'm doing this, in terms of getting really cheap players, right? Doing this again to put in my watch list. I'm building up my watch list, although there's the limit we can put in the watch list, but I think all these 71 to 73 players I put in my watch list, they serve a good purpose, because gradually the next round when I try to do training for the other players again, this will be my pool of players that can go towards and buy straight away from the watch list itself. Alright, so here we are draining really near to 20 million right now, and I'll say that in just 10 million, it's no joke. It's just gone like that, just buying players for rank up purpose and for training. It is extremely tedious just to do a training purpose, because the quantity of the players they're releasing is 1, 2, or at max 5 or 6 at a go. Unlike the past, we have 999 plus. That's easy. Just grab the markets and keep on grabbing it. But now it's relatively difficult. And the pain point is you can buy a maximum of 25 players. So that's another pain point. You gotta keep on doing, and there's a need to toggle the windows itself, so it's really painful. So it's a bad design as usual. I mean, you can't expect much from EA. You usually it's making things really difficult for you. So you can see here a lot of efforts. Even as I speak, I keep on doing this. It is that tedious in order to buy players. Why can't they make it so simpler? It's so painful, right? So generally that's how you work out. And of course the other thing you got to take note is when you see the indication under the card, when there's a blue line, it just means that the card is available. When there's a red line below, it just shows that there's demand but there's no supply. So if you see both lines, it just means they are unmatched in terms of pricing. People are willing to sell, but just that the people are buying are not willing to pay that price. So that's why there's two lines of demand and supply. So alright, so we're done with this finally, and we got that 1500 gems of going strong pack. Let's see, the next one is 11 players. Crazy, 11 players, all level 20. I think that's totally crazy and insane of EA doing this. Alright, it's a waste of time. Alright, so thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe. Goodbye.